There is some kind of gang war in Cleveland involving the Teamster Union and professional gangsters. The figures over recent months show that for those involved, life expectancy is very short and getting shorter. Here's Brian Ross in Cleveland.
61-year-old John Nardy was an important Ohio Teamster officer and considered by federal investigators to be the leader of organized crime in Cleveland.
Hello, I'm Paul Ferrace. I'm director of the USS Cod Submarine Memorial, but here I'm talking about my relatively close encounter with Bomb Summer 1977, when the Cleveland mob decided to settle affairs with each other by blowing each other up. We're on the campus of Cleveland State University, my alma mater. But in May 17th, 1977, this was a surface gravel parking lot. And this is roughly, if I could triangulate, this is where I was parked in my 1970 red Maverick. And I had with me my beautiful future ex-wife, Pat, who is also a student here. And we were done with classes for the day, and we were driving home. And we were just coming to our car. I don't miss the 1970 red Maverick all that much. But I remember I was standing here and we heard a big boom, 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 boom. We heard an explosion and the echoes off the various building facades downtown. And the sound came from that direction. Now, in those days, this music building wasn't here, so you could see the buildings 4 or 5 blocks away, and we saw this black mushroom cloud roll up. And I remember saying to Pat, somebody or something just got blown up.
Well, John Nardy was killed in a bombing behind the Teamsters Hall on 19th and Carnegie. There was a parking lot behind the hall, and his auto was parked there. And when he left the building, went to his auto, the bombers had pulled up another car next to his car with a bomb concealed in the passenger side door. And when Nardy opened up the door to his car, they detonated the bomb from a location. They obviously could see where he was, and blew him apart and blew the car apart.
The Trojan horse thing, you know, the bomb car, you know, so you check your car is good.
Well, it was kind of a strange situation. We were actually kind of wrapping our day up at the office when we were notified by police radio that there had been an explosion at the Union Hall on Carnegie Avenue. So we basically got in our vehicles and drove over to the area. And when we arrived, Cleveland Fire was there doing their duty, and they were hosing down the 2 cars that were burning. And as they were hosing the cars down, all of the potential evidence that we would be looking for was being forced down the sewers. And it was really unfortunate for us. Yeah, they were doing their job. You can't argue with that, but it just complicated the investigation quite a bit.
I was with Vic. We got there and it was over with. The fire department was there. He was still on the scene. My recollection that there was a female paramedic or something that happened to be there. He wasn't. He was. The bottom half of him was very bad, very bad, and she was trying to comfort him.
Nardy's last words were, "It didn't hurt." I don't know if the detective heard that or if somebody at the hospital told him that. So it appears that he was still alive when he got to the hospital. We had a difficult time, the people in the Union building. As part of our investigation, one of the things that we would, of course, do would be to try to locate any potential witnesses. Unfortunately, the people that were in the Union, I should say the building that houses several different Union locals, refused to even answer their doors. They didn't want to talk to the police at all. And again, it complicated things. You can't force your way in. You can't make them talk to you. But it was very difficult to get information from people who potentially witnessed the explosion or may have seen something unusual in the parking lot before the explosion. Fortunately, Our office had a very good relationship with the people from the FBI, and so we met pretty regularly with them. They were doing their thing, we were doing our thing, but we did share information.
We never positively identified the bomb maker, other than the ones that were, one for Nardi and the one for Danny Green, were both identified as being made by Ray Ferrito, who was a gangster originally out of Erie, Pennsylvania. The other bombings prior to Ferrito coming in were made locally, but we don't know by who.
Johnny, there was some speculation out on the street back in March that John Nardy was a target. Did you talk to John Nardy at all about this?
I haven't personally seen John in about 3.5 months, but I did send him a message very recently that, John, be careful. It's out here very, very strong in the streets that somebody's out to get you. Now, from what I can say is that everybody says they heard this also. The investigator should start right there and go from who told you and where did they hear it from.
Do you got any thoughts about where these people are from?
I think possibly, most probably the bomb was made here. The people could have been imported.
So we got in the car and we pulled out, and anyway, as we went up 18th Street, all hell broke loose. There were fire trucks, ambulances, police cars arriving, so we had to take a detour. And then, of course, that evening on the local news, word came that John Nardy had been a victim of a bombing. As it turned out, a distant cousin of mine was at that meeting. Luckily for him, he parked on the other side of the building, where Mr. Nardy was on the north side of the building. My cousin parked his car on the south side of the building, so he was shielded by the blast by the building. Of course, heard the explosion and he ran over to see what he could do, and apparently saw Nardy still alive, or at least what was left of Nardy still alive. So using Evan's research photo of the photo of the Nardy bomb car, and of course the key is the old Central YMCA building back there. We, using NSA level interpolation and guessing, this is pretty much right here within maybe 10 feet of where I'm standing, is where Nardy's car was parked when the bomb exploded. And to be honest, I didn't realize just how close the bomb was to where we were. I mean, we heard the echo off the buildings, and certainly heard an echo off the old YMCA. Yeah, we are 3 blocks from where I just was standing in the CSU parking lot. So, yep, this is where Mr. Nardy got bisected. Yeah, so Mr. Nardy turned the key here, and if you had a binoculars up on the upper floors, you would have had a front row seat to the whole thing. But anyway, now the old Central YMCA is Cleveland State University dorms. So anyway, with the help of vintage photos, it's now the RTA downtown hub and parking garage. So thanks for joining us. I'm heading out of here.